All right. I always have to check on my phone if we're live. Hello, everybody. You should be here. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm here with Zachy. I don't know if that was on purpose.
It is. Oh, yeah. Very.
Okay. Otherwise known as Zachary Weber. My first narrator interview, which I'm very excited. I have 6 of you lined up, and you're my very first one. So,
Oh, I'm so honored.
Yes. I know you have a few other pen names,
Sure.
narrator names. I don't know what you want to call those. How many do you have? Pseudonyms. That's a good word.
Really, let's just call it 2.5.
Okay.
There's one that I used a couple times, and then I was like, "What am I doing? You know, what am I? I can't just go creating my own multiverse here. It's not up to me. I can't play God like that. So there's an extra one, but there's really just the 2.
Okay. Because I was researching and the third one popped up, and I was like, I've never heard of this one before. So
yeah, I mean, I guess I also like just gave up. I've given up. I gave up using it once it was just very easily found out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you have a pretty distinct voice. So were you trying to be like anonymous with your pen names, or?
See, that's the thing, is maybe it comes from a lack of confidence or something, but I didn't know that I had a unique voice. Well, I'm gonna flip to the other side of my table here. My poor roommate avoid the kitchen. Oh, I'm spilling everything. This is a disaster, and I knew it was gonna be.
You're good.
Okay.
You got a beautiful trees in the background now.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I'm just gonna let you look at that while I clean up this spilled can of LaCroix. Oh God. Oh, I thought you were looking at the flowers behind us, but no.
No, we got the ceiling fan for a little bit, but
Okay. All right. Just cleaned up the LaCroix, and now I'm actually here.
Okay. Jacob Morgan, yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You'll know. Yes.
That's
you do have a very distinct voice. As someone who listens to a lot of audiobooks, I can definitely pick your voice out. So interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like it's not the case anymore, having been told this enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like. I just didn't think it would ever become a thing. Like I truly had no idea. So, yeah.
I will say between you and what is the other one? Teddy Hamilton, you are like the 2 most excited narrators that I have on my channel. So people were very, very excited that I was going to have you. So you are very popular in the romance community.
Oh, cute. Yeah, it's funny to see people, like, because I always think, like, okay, I already did it. Like, I already, I already made it clear that I am me. So I always think, like, okay, it's done. But then there's still other people that don't know. And it's actually very, very exciting.
Yeah. What got you, I'm sure you answered this a lot, but what got you into audiobook narrating?
I sort of fell in. I mean, I've been an actor since high school, but I made a film for Colleen Hoover for one of her books, This Girl, I believe it's called, which I didn't even narrate, I don't think. But I made her. She wanted a trailer made, and I was like 22, and she was like friends with my mom, and my mom showed her friends my headshot when I was just a wee lad right out of college, and they were like, "Oh, he's so cute," and one and Colleen I guess she just like hired me to make a trailer. So then I then I did, and I hired my friends and made it like, and I charged her like a lot of money because I was broke, and she was like, I mean, I have that much money, but okay. And then I made like a really really nice little piece of cinema for her, and I did VO on it. Like I did the characters
Okay.
narration VO, um, and and then it sort of spurred everything. It was sort of an accident, really. I just didn't. I mean, I would have taken any gig at that point. I was, and really poor, just moved to LA, young
Mhm.
actor. So I fell into doing it, and at that point I certainly had no idea it would take off.
Your
And
mom's
boy, did
friends
it.
with Colleen Hoover?
Huh?
Your mom's friends with Colleen Hoover, just
Yeah. Well, they're
okay,
both.
okay.
My mom's an author.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I've done a couple of her books. She hasn't written in a while, but
okay.
yeah.
Can you share her name?
Tamara Weber.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be offended because I don't know how anybody keeps track of anybody. There's such an abundance in this genre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people know. Okay, so yep,
Okay.
we've got people who I mean, same last name makes sense, so, yeah.
I mean, she's
Interesting.
great.
So
I can say that unbiased. She's good.
she's great. Have you narrated her books?
I have, yeah, a few of them.
Okay,
Which
and I was
like,
gonna ask you
hmm?
narrated any Colleen Hoover, and someone just said you did November 9.
November 9th. I've done several for her.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember what's the other one. November 9th, sort of the bigger one.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a few.
okay. Um, how long does it take you to narrate a book? I'm gonna ask all the, like, narrator questions since I haven't chatted with one before.
A year. It takes a year and change to do one book. I just do a word a day. Um, and I really like to take lunch. I really like lunch, so usually I'll just be like, then if they're lucky if they get and then I'm like, and then it's time to
Yeah,
go eat.
yeah.
Um, I'm so silly. It's usually like, it's most of the time it's half the book, so 2 6-hour days usually should cut it. I have pretty severe ADHD, so I have to move around a lot, and I have to get up and take my mind off of a thing a lot in order to be able to do the thing, which really just adds time to the whole making of the anything.
Mhm.
Um, but so usually a couple days. If I'm doing the whole book, it's 4, sometimes a whole week. It all depends on how many words it is. If it's like, 50,000 words,
True.
if I'm working hard, I can do 25,000 words in a day.
Wow. I mean, his narrators just churn out audiobooks, and it takes a lot less time than authors take to write it, so
Yes, that is very true. It is a lot easier to read than it is to write, which is why I haven't written a book yet, but I want to.
Oh, wait, someone did ask me that because I asked on Instagram for questions, and someone said, "Do you have any interest in writing, or have you written anything?"
Yeah, I mean, I've written all kinds of things. I'm a songwriter, and I've written scripts, none of which have ever been made. And I used to do comedy quite a bit, so I've written sketches and stuff like that. But I've never really considered myself a writer anywhere near as much as I am a performer.
Mm, mhm.
Yeah.
We have a lot of comments about Sierra Simone books that you
Mm-hmm.
narrate.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, the audiobooks for that series, the, pre-series is, like, a whole other experience. They are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of good feedback. I think Sierra is a really, really good writer.
Yes.
And I mean, like, she has other books that I've done that don't quite hit for people the same. I think there's, I think when you add a religious aspect to things and you
Mhm.
really do it well, it can, and by to things I mean to sexual content, then you can really, mm, you can
Yeah,
really get them.
yeah. I mean, and her writing is just absolutely beautiful, so
She's an amazing writer.
yeah. I did wanna know this as well. So someone said, "Do you read the book first and make notes before recording? Do you just, like, go in? How do you prepare?"
I keep, I keep having to, I keep answering this question, and with such shame. I don't
Nothing?
I don't read it before. I like, I mean, I
Uh-oh, you cut out. Can you guys see? There you are.
ha, okay, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Cut you off right before you answered the question you didn't wanna answer.
Sorry, say it again.
It cut you off before the question that you didn't wanna answer, so
Oh yeah. It's not that I don't want to answer it, it's that I just feel guilty because I don't read the books beforehand because then I would never have time for anything. I think a lot of narrators now like hire somebody to give the book a skim,
really?
and it helps. Yeah, it and people don't. It's usually someone playing interlocutor who's like, oh, I want to read a book. I want to read a romance novel. So I'd be happy to read it for accents. Um,
Oh, true.
and so it ends up being hopefully sort of cyclical like that. But I just, as long as I have like the gist of things, which usually like that's available online, as long as nobody like, as long as there's no Irish guy, or there is, and you tell me there's an Irish guy, then it's safe, because with a book, it's not like, you're walking onto a film set. You need to know everything there.
Yeah.
But like in this situation, you can let it carry you. Then you're with the reader, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Monica asked a good question. Do the authors ever give you notes ahead of time about the
Yeah.
book?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, uh, especially if I like am in touch with an author and they have my email address, um, then it makes things super easy.
Okay. Um, oh, you mentioned, accents with, like, an Irish accent. Do you
Hmm.
do a lot of accents? Like, can you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I I get nervous doing them on command, but like when I'm in a booth, it's just
Mhm.
no problem at all. I
Yeah.
I if it's like, something random like Hungarian, say, then I need to study. I can't picture what that sounds like.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, yeah, it's all just like, especially to get a character or stereotype down, which is often the case, you know, you just gotta just move your lips and your throat in a certain way.
Mhm.
Um, but it's really fun for me. It was the first my first foray into acting was I bought an accents and dialects book at Barnes and Noble, and then
Mhm.
when I was 14, and then I just studied it at home
Mm,
before I ever did a play or anything.
interesting. So, how many accents can you do? Just any, if you can look it up and see how to do it?
If I can look it up and see how to do it and it's not racist, then I'll do it.
That's very impressive. That is impressive.
Yeah. I mean, there's some I struggle with, obviously. Like I still, I'll still mix some up. I like finding the difference between Polish and Russian is like not something I can recall offhand,
Yeah.
you know, or, the general Eastern Europeanness.
Okay. I was gonna say, if I've listened to anything you've had an accent on, I probably would not be able to recognize your voice then, because someone just said you're British is spot on, so
Great.
yeah.
That's the hope, is that you disappear into the character enough that the actor doesn't matter.
Yeah. Um, I was wondering about, well, not that one, this one. So dual narration.
Hmm.
Do you like doing dual narration? So that's when the girl does the girl parts speaking and the guy does the guy's part speaking and you flip back and
Yeah.
forth. Right? Yeah.
As opposed to doing the whole book, or as opposed to duet, which
Duet.
is, yeah, which is when the yeah, it's just all the male dialogue. I don't know. I think it can be nice because if you're hungry for a story, then you're like sort of getting to the point
Mhm.
quickly, but like also then there's the possibility of missing stuff. There's downsides to
Mhm.
both.
Mhm.
If it's a whole entire book, I mean, I have I have focus issues. So the only reason I wouldn't like doing it myself, the whole thing, is because I worry that I'm not able to keep up the energy the whole time. Um, regardless what the content or how good the book is, it's just like I need to being able to stay with it and not feel like I'm pacing it well enough.
Mhm.
That's the fear, I guess I would say.
Mhm. Okay. And how do you pick what to narrate?
I'm starting to I'm starting to pick now because like before when
Whatever.
when you're 25 and 26 and you haven't like made money as an actor otherwise, I was,
Mhm.
I'd done like indie films with my friends or like worked like once a month, and all of a sudden when these books start flowing in, it's like, what am I going to not do one? No, I want to do all of them.
Mhm.
Um, Now that I've made enough money to be able to pursue other stuff, I can like peel it back just a little bit and be selective, but like I'm only selective in terms of like what I have time for. I don't even it's usually the go aheads are like I've worked with this author before and I
Mhm.
know them really well, and like there's sadly that's a lot of the thing in Hollywood too, is like who do you know? So therefore, who are you going to actively just always like tap the button and work with? Um,
Mhm.
so I always go on such a tangent that I forget what the original thing was, and I don't know if I can sum it up. But there's that response.
You answered the question, so that was good.
Right.
So you mentioned working with people you've worked with before. Do you have any favorite authors to work with?
Yeah. Well, a recent one is Abby Jimenez. Jimenez. She's a delight, and her books are so fun and sweet, and they're like lighthearted, but they deal with real social and uh, mental health issues even, and
Mhm.
I always find that really something I can connect to. um there's like there's a lot of like discussion of social class, and I always find that interesting when people like breach those barriers. um
Mhm.
and she does a lot of that, and Sierra's probably my numero uno. We like it's just been like sort of a match made in heaven because I love really really dark stuff. I'm a goth at heart. I was a goth kid, and I really like intense brooding material no matter what the medium. And so
Mhm.
I always connect with that too. Anything discussing social class or that has like a real like guttural heart discussion, and that like really explores it. So like from those two, those are two big ones. But there's plenty of others. I mean, I've worked with so many authors that I really love. Corinne Michaels, Colleen. Yeah, I mean, it's been really fun. Oh, did you freeze? Uh-oh. Did I do something?
No, I think I just went out, but I think I'm good now.
Oh, okay.
I'm back. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Did
I definitely
did you hear my answer?
yeah.
Great.
Talking about Abby Jimenez, Pierre Simone, all those different authors. Yes. I listened to Part of Your World. It was phenomenal. I loved it. Are you doing her new one?
She has another one. I mean, each time I've done one of her books, she said, "You're doing all my books." So I figure unless I like dramatically fuck up something,
Mm-hmm.
I I'll keep doing her books.
Okay. Okay. Because she has
Um,
a new one coming out in April, so I didn't know.
what was? Oh,
Oh, unless you've already done it.
I think I already did it. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that one was already out. Yeah, they keep overlapping each other, and then I mix up which one was which. Um, I always can be like, oh, the one with the red cover. Okay, so the
That's
red
the one
cover is the
coming out.
one that I did
Yeah.
months ago. The one that I did this year is, what is that one called? It was great. It was
Okay.
excellent. This one in particular dealt with someone with like very severe anxiety, and I'm very very familiar. So it yeah, I did do that book already.
Okay. I mean, traditional publishing goes like a lot longer, so like they do things ahead of time compared to indie publishing. So that
Yeah,
definitely makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because yours truly comes out soon. So we'll be able to listen
Yours
to that.
truly. That's the one.
Yes, yes. I remember covers as well, so that is the one with the red cover. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said holding out for a Zach Sierra writing collab.
Oh, hey, Laura. Yeah, that's such an exciting prospect, and hope she has. I hope we have time for each other. It would be really really cool. That's been bandied about recently.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
We shall see.
Um, why romance audiobooks? Like, do you ever have you narrated other genres? Do you ever want to go to other genres?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just overflow at this point. I don't. I get constant work.
Hmm.
So I don't know why I would do anything else. It's really, and I'm a very romantic person, so it perhaps is kismet, but which I believe in.
Hmm.
So so it's probably just gonna just kind of be that way for a while. I mean, I love, like I said, I love horrors, and I love fantasy and sci-fi and stuff like that. Um, and so like I would do other stuff, but like it's not like if you're a romance narrator, you're gonna work a lot more than other narrators unless you're one of the top narrators.
True.
So that's why a lot of even top narrators are turning to romance, because there's just a
Oh, really?
massive amount of work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that the indie community for romance is just so much more expansive than any other genre. So, and I know they're constantly putting out audiobooks too. So,
Yeah, it is, like I said, it's an overflow. Like it's just unending,
yeah. Well,
which
and
is
I
great.
feel like because you've narrated E.L. James, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I feel like you and yourself are a big name, so people want to use you to market their own audiobooks.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. I definitely think so. Is there an author you haven't worked with yet but want to?
Uh, yeah, I mean, this is where I don't know. I mean, Stephen King. I don't. If there are romance authors that I have. There's so many that I haven't met, and I just assume that they don't want me to do their audiobook
Hmm.
if I haven't been reached out to. So I don't even know. Like I don't have enough communication with folks in the genre to know that there are authors that would want to work with me that I haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a few I follow on Instagram that I'm like, oh, you must follow me because you want me to do your book. Um, uh, there's this YA author who followed me recently. We chat every now and then. It always starts with with an author you don't know. It always starts with kind of making fun of each other, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Lynn Painter. Lynn
Oh yeah.
Painter. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's cool. She writes some weird notes. She's a weirdo. I
Oh,
like it.
but she wants you to narrate her audiobook, probably.
Yeah, and she has a YA book, and
Mhm.
it's this thing that happens where it's like, would you do YA? I'm like, well, yeah, I would do YA.
Mhm.
I don't know that I mean, I can almost. I just did a book where I was playing a 21-year-old guy, and
Mhm.
that felt like I was kind of pushing it.
Mhm.
But I can, as of like a year ago, I played a 16-year-old. I just don't know. I'm like, okay, maybe maybe in my head this sounds fine, but like if I start comparison brain, then I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah. But I can't believe you were a 16-year-old
Neither
for
can I.
the bit.
He was like a junior in high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
I certainly it's hard to do it without becoming like the apparently kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lynn Painter has adult books too. Yes, she does. But she was talking about
About her YA.
about a YA book. Yeah.
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 I did get this question a couple times. Is there anything special you have to do to take care of your voice since you talk so much?
That sounded like a dig.
You do talk a lot, like 6+ hours a day?
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Um, uh, there are things I should do. I have taken up drinking tea a lot, which is good.
Mhm.
But I still smoke, and I smoke a lot less, so I'm not exactly great. I'm taking like sort of a Serge Gainsbourg approach to audiobooks. It's like the roughness is the essence,
Okay.
is the goodness. So I don't want to get rid of that. So if you have a lot of tea and you smoke, then you'll probably find the right balance.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not recommending that to anyone. I'm just saying
Okay.
that's how
Now
it's
you
gone.
get the Zachary Weber voice. Smoking and tea. We have a
On the record.
question. Yes. Do you prefer first or third person? Do you care? I know readers have
Oh,
very strong
first.
opinions. Really?
First by far. Yeah. Third person is always so, I mean, it's so rare in romance audio, and it's just like it's every time it jars me. Maybe it's just because I'm used to doing first person now.
Yeah.
Because it's just way easier to just speak casually
True.
as the person, you know.
Yeah, that is true. I know a lot of more people prefer first person. I feel like it's a lot more rare now for third.
Yeah.
This is. Yeah. I do know people who do this. This is what Monica does. If people really like a narrator, they just search your name and go through your books.
Yeah, there's that side of things, which is super cool, and then there's the other side where like there are certain people trying their best to convince other people, other readers, to listen to audiobooks because they're like it's a great experience, and then people who are like steadfast reading purists are like, I don't want some man telling me how men sound, which is totally understandable.
Yeah. I mean, I think you narrated Maybe Someday by Colin Hoover?
Yes. Yeah. That's
That was one of the first audiobooks I listened to. So
wow. I mean, it's probably one of the first 10 or 20 that I did. I
really?
think.
I mean, this was like 5 years ago that I listened to
Oh,
it.
never mind. That's a different one. I was thinking of something else.
Okay. Okay. But I am someone who listens on 3 times speed. I don't know if you have any opinions about how fast We're slow people listen. But I was wondering.
Why don't we do this interview at 3 times speed, huh?
I mean, I edit my videos at 2 times speed, so I'm just a very fast
What? You
processor.
do?
I do, yes. So I
Wow.
like to pick it up. Um, Even though people tell me I talk fast, I don't think I talk fast. But do you so like one time speed it seems very slow to me. Are you is that your natural pace when you narrate is one time speed? Like normal?
Well, I'm not thinking in terms of
Like
how fast or slow it would be overall. Where's my camera?
okay.
Um, it's like if the material calls for you reading quickly, then
Mhm.
you read quickly. And
Okay.
then sometimes, like today, I was doing this book where the guy's a surfer, and then he goes to jail. So he's like both a surfer and then gets out of jail, and he's an ex-con. No, ma'am, no, my cat's deciding to scratch this box now. Stop it! Hey, I'm gonna get rid of the box, sweetie pie. Being a dad, tough. I what was I saying?
How the ex-con surfer?
Ah,
Yes.
yeah. So, at times he takes things very leisurely, and I like to take things leisurely. Um, and but then there's really, really intense moments where, like, it doesn't matter if you're a leisurely person, you're going to be driven into the drama of it. So I
Mhm.
worry that when someone's listening to something at 3 times speed,
It's like there you go.
at 3 times speed,
Yes.
you're going to get me when I speed up. You're not even going to hear what I'm saying. Stop it. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
It's it's I never thought on those terms until I saw that it was a thing on Audible myself, and I was listening to an Eckhart Tolle. I was like listening to like Power of Now or something, and I was
Mhm.
listening to the Power of Now on 1.5 speed because he is a real slow talker because of who he is, because he's a little German elf. And and then I was like, oh my God, I'm listening to like a spiritual textbook quickly. I'm listening to a book literally about being in the moment
Mhm.
faster than a moment is. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But if I mean, you've made it a bit of your job, no, to read. So like, I understand if you've got to funnel it in to your ear,
Yeah.
then fine. If that's how fast you read, okay,
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Just as long as you don't start listening to robots instead of
No.
us. Thank you.
No. I didn't know if you wanted to bring that up because that is like a hot topic and I don't
Oh,
know
I
your
sure as hell do.
Okay. Go
We're in
for
the
it.
Matrix,
Yes.
okay? We are in the Matrix, and we are not going to let them take over.
Yeah.
Um, no, I'm. It's kind of frustrating, but it's also kind of like I know that in my heart, like there's always going to be enough human beings who are purists about
Yeah.
humanity and want to hear a human do things.
Mhm.
Um, that it'll probably be okay. Knock on wood, of course. I mean, we've automated everything that exists, pretty much. Every job you can do, basically.
Mhm.
So pretty soon there will be no skills, but there'll still be emotion. So
True.
we shall see.
Yeah. We
I'm
don't want
trying not to have too much of an opinion yet. I do know that I want a job. I want to keep my
Right.
job. So it's tough.
Right. I mean, as an audiobook listener, I do not want AI narrating my audiobooks.
Until they can teach AI sarcasm, we're set.
Then that's gonna be scary though. When
It's,
AI can
I
do
mean, it quite literally is impossible. It can fake sarcasm, but it can't
Mhm.
understand subtext. It understands what's happening.
Literal. Yeah. Yeah. No. We appreciate our narrators too much to have them be replaced. So We will keep you
Stand
in.
up and fight back.
Yes. You did mention you like to read, and I know a lot of people wanted to know that. You mentioned horror, sci-fi, fantasy. What kind of books do you like to read?
Yeah, I mean, those are the ones. I have a book called Daphne by Josh Malerman, who wrote Barbarian, which I don't know if you like horror at all, but it was a
I've heard
pretty
Josh Howard, but I haven't heard of those two.
okay. Um, so Barbarian is a movie that came out last year that was like
Oh,
fantastic. So I bought his new book, and I haven't gotten to it yet. But I like that kind of thing, and I like horror, and I like um, I like reading, spiritual. I guess you would say self-helpy things, but they're more consciousness based and connection. It's not really about helping self. Um, and yeah, I haven't read. I used to read so much as a kid. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Redwall series, but
mm-mm.
it's about like a sort of medieval universe in which like mice and rodents have castles and they fight each other, and there's like battles and feasts and war cries, and it's always like the mice versus the rats, and it's beautiful, and I really miss it. There's like probably 20 books. I think the author Brian Jakes, I think he passed pretty recently, but he wrote like 20 books in that series, and I was obsessed when I was a kid.
Mm.
It's just wonderful fantasy. It was basically Game of Thrones with rodents for kids.
Fun. Yeah.
Very fun. I loved it. I loved them.
And do you then listen to audiobooks? I mean, you say you were listening to that one.
I listen to mostly nonfiction
Okay.
audiobooks. I don't listen to a ton of fiction audiobooks.
Mhm. Okay. And I mean, you read romance all day, every day, so
Yeah.
you get
And I live in a fantasy world, so.
there's that too. Do you do you ever, I'm assuming with certain narrations you have to have like co-narrators. Are there any narrators you like working with? Or do you not
Yeah,
really?
I mean, you mentioned Teddy. He's like a literal friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't live in the city anymore, but he was, and we
Mhm.
were buds. We still are. He lives up north, and I've been meaning to visit him. And then Emma Wilder is a pal. Both Aaron Mallon and Andy. Anybody I've met, I consider a pal.
Mhm.
But like they're like Andy, I've been communicating with on the phone for like a decade. So it's like, of course we're pals, but we didn't even meet until like 2018 or something,
Mhm.
which is cool. It's interesting to like email or text or know someone's entire vocal patterns and not meet them for years.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you go to signings sometime, right? Because you went to, I know you were at Book Bonanza last year
Yeah.
and Vegas last year.
And in Vegas, I did those, and I'm doing Book Bonanza again this year.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna do none, but it's an excuse for a mid-year trip home because I'm from the DFW area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How have you gone to signings before then, before this year, last year?
Yeah, before the pandemic, I went to um I went to Vegas. I think I went to another one. Maybe I went to Vegas twice. No. I did. I went to another one. I can't remember what it was. I went to Rare, London.
Oh, cool. Those look
Yeah.
really fun, but they're like
That
all the way over in Europe,
that
so.
was my first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Cool. Do you like going to signings? Is it ever weird to see people like huge fans of yours?
Uh, it was at first.
Mhm.
But then I got over it. It's just really nice. It's just everybody's really sweet.
Yeah.
Bunch
And
of
do
sweeties.
they bring your books for you to sign? Books you narrated?
Yeah. Yeah. It's always funny because I'm like, I actually haven't done this bit, but I was going to say I do a bit where I'm like, I didn't write this one because I didn't write any of them. But I sign literal books. I mean, there's nobody. Sometimes there's like there's the rare like iPad case or actual iPad,
Mhm.
or Kindle or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's usually books. I
Mhm.
think it's funny. People like the audiobook so much that then they go and buy the paperback so that they can
Yeah.
get the signature from the author and the narrators.
Yeah. I mean, I do my rereads with audio, so it's like comfort reads
Oh, nice. That's
with
cool.
your voices. So, yeah. Do you have a favorite character you've narrated? Different from any of the other ones you've talked about.
Well, that's not fair. Just kidding. There's one of Sierra's series, the Thorn Chapel series, is super, super cool. It was actually it was nice because it was really a challenge. There's like not. I mean, first of all, it was a queer, posh English, like super sensitive dom. Like that's just a lot of like layers.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was like, oh, I'll get this. Like I can do the accent and I'm familiar with blah, 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 blah. But it was really hard. But I enjoyed it for being able to like play this like hyper intelligent character who was like speaking this beautiful prose. It was
Mhm.
really, really fun. And I don't know, Christian Grey. Have you heard of Christian Grey? So I
Maybe.
play I play
Sounds
Christian
familiar.
Grey. Some people know that.
Mhm. The romance book, yes.
Yeah, but Auden is a really, really good character.
Mhm. For that book for Sierra Simone, was it multiple narrators or like for
Yeah,
each POV? Okay. I know
yeah.
there's 5?
I think there's 5. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I mean, like we've already said, Sierra Simone's amazing, so I'm glad you enjoy. Now Tori said she's gonna reread Thorn Chapel. Have you read a Nora Roberts book?
No, that'd be cool. No,
Mhm.
I haven't done like the Nora Roberts or the Barbara Kingsolvers of the world. I
Mhm.
think because they're usually like third person and is essentially focused on a woman and her. I don't know. It's like it's always like a kind of older woman, not
Mhm.
always, but like often.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and I don't think I'm eligible for
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
I've read 2 of hers now, and they're both, like, female narrated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone did ask if you have a favorite horror movie.
Um, ooh. I mean, in recent times, Barbarian's probably my favorite newer one, but It Follows is 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 great. I mean, I remember seeing that and feeling like the level of shock as when I saw The Sixth Sense when I was 9. It was like the same. That and Hereditary really. I really like being like really fucked with by a movie. Like I like being I watch enough horror that I like being that I need to be tricked now at this point.
Okay. I stay away from horror, so
We don't have to talk about
okay. I was like, I'm nodding at these titles, and I have no idea what they are. I'm just
it. You don't want to know.
okay,
If you don't
okay.
if you don't like horror, don't ever watch any of those.
I am good. I know the Sixth Sense twist because someone told me. I did not actually watch that
Hi
movie.
Elle.
So, yeah, she said she liked it.
Hereditary is great.
Oh, I did have a question. So are there any words that trip you up whenever you have to say them?
Clasped.
Clasped?
I can say clasped just fine, but it halts a sentence.
Oh,
If
yeah.
if it's like she was nodding at me, looking down at her hands, we were clasped, which were clasped between, like, it guaranteed, even if you can say it, it causes an indent, and then everyone knows you're saying the word clasped.
Yeah.
Because no one says, like, I don't think anyone's ever said clasped in casual conversation in human history. And to have to do it when you need a flow, and it's in every book.
Interesting.
Ask any narrator, it'll be grasped and clasped.
It's the spt sound that just doesn't make it out of the mouth. It's interesting because I've talked to authors and they said once they start getting their books narrated, they really pay attention to how things sound out loud.
Yep.
And you would think that word, then they would be like,
well, people who write books aren't always performers.
That's true.
Usually aren't, most of the time.
Right.
So they're not reading it out loud.
Yeah.
And often people can, like, a good author can, like, hear people talking in their head, and so therefore write a very plausible dialogue. But until it's said out loud, until you, like, audition it a little, it's there's going to be stuff that slips through. That's kind of why, like, I haven't written, because I know that I would just be like blah, 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 and I wouldn't be able to get it on the page because my thought streams and my vocal choices are different. They're askew.
Well, so then have you ever read something where you're like, wow, this is really awkward, but you just gotta read it because it's there? Because you can't change it, right? Like, it's the awkward word. You just make it sound better when you're speaking. So
yeah, I mean, I just I get frustrated at times, but I take it in stride and try and make it my own. That's my whole motto, is like, I am just in service of the story. But when something bothers me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna spin this in my own way, in my voice, because I have to say it. Especially if it's a horrendous typo that somehow made it through, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna.
You have to read it.
If I can't change this, if it is something that requires, this happens. If it's something that requires, like, basically a rewrite, then I usually I'll either rewrite it if it makes sense, and then hope for the best, and hope, like, they notice that or whatever. Because like, I don't have time to be asking every time, and oftentimes you don't have the author's contact, so you can't go, like, what did you mean here? So it can get dicey. Yeah,
I didn't even think of that. If there's typos, do you, like, just literally read the incorrect sentence?
No, usually not. Usually you correct it if it's obvious, but sometimes it's not obvious is the problem. So it's like,
what
am I supposed to do? I'm sitting here editing.
Yeah. You don't have time for that.
Mm-mm.
Do you ever read any of the books for the authors you worked for, even if you're not narrating them?
For the authors you've worked with, even if you're not narrating. I keep getting all these questions that make me feel bad.
The answer's no.
The answer's no. The answer is no.
I mean, you narrate so many books, so you're reading so many books anyways.
Yeah.
This is a good question, though. Have you ever cried narrating a book?
Oh, yeah.
Like, from the emotion, not on purpose.
That suggests that emotion isn't on purpose. I have cried both because I needed to and because I was overwhelmed.
Okay.
Because it called for it, and I was like, I mean, that's the responsibility of an actor. Like, you either are pushing yourself into it and you fall, or you get tripped and you fall. The emotion is I play it like, this is action, and as long as you are, like, doing something, then it will drive you to an emotional landscape.
Okay. I mean, narrating is just, I guess I don't think a lot of narrating is acting, but it is acting. Narrating is acting. So
yeah.
Where did it go? Okay, so someone asked, I don't know if you know the term book hangover, but have you had a book hangover from a book you've read? Like you're
Well,
just so overwhelmed by it.
well, uh, speaking of Abby Jimenez, I her that last book that's about a guy with anxiety, like severe anxiety. It ignited mine, I think. I started
Oh, okay.
having pretty heavy anxiety attacks, and I know I've experienced it before in life, but it's never been so obvious.
Yeah.
Um, and it frankly, yeah, it kind of fucked me up actually.
Yeah.
So not really so much a hangover as a drunkenness. It was intense, and it's still kind of happening. I don't know that it was the book's direct fault. There's like a variety of reasons that could be coming up. Too much caffeine, not enough carbohydrates. But the fact that it started
With that
the
book.
day I was started the book,
Mhm.
and once, like literally while I was reading.
Is that her then, like, not the red one, but the one after the red one? Or is it a different
that's
one?
that's the one coming up. Yours truly.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
part of your world I did genuinely shed heavy tears, and
Really
that was like that was an instance of being tripped into it. I was like
good. Mhm.
fall like I could not escape it. It was very,
Mhm.
very emotionally driven.
She's an amazing writer.
She's great.
Um, and I mean, books do that. I mean, even to us as readers, they can trigger different emotions and feelings in us, so
Yeah.
it's not surprising it does for you too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a really good question, I think of this. Do you ever record more than one audiobook at the same time?
um I mean, what is the same time? I have to go back. I have to bounce back and forth between things all the time
Okay.
because there's often like, a pickup session where you have to do the corrections that for the
Okay.
times you messed up. So like, I'll do like three different books and pickup sessions to start the day, and then do another book, and then finish that book, and then have to start another one. So yeah, there's a lot of juggling, but it's really not. I mean, I can act like it's like not tough, but maybe in in normal human reality, it is tough, I guess.
I don't know, I feel like that'd be hard if you're doing, like, corrections for 3 different books in the morning. You're, like, jumping in the head of 3 different characters,
Well,
and
it's
you're
it's
totally
it's
confident.
hard if you're like, oh no, I'm still an angry guy.
Mhm.
And then you go like, oh wait, this guy's not supposed to be angry, and then you just start the paragraph over. it's
Okay.
it's just so easy because you're not like fucking up in front of everybody, or
Oh, for
like ruining anyone's day. You're just like, oh
sure,
well,
slow.
gotta read that again, if even. But I'm also like I might be an emotional artist type, but I am a scathing perfectionist, especially towards myself. So like I'm like I once I learn something, I'm like, why doesn't everybody know this? You know?
Charles is here. I know you've talked to him before.
Charles.
Yes, and thank you for
Hi.
saying hi to me as well, Charles.
Hi,
And I'm
Charles.
more excited for you. Um, I know, now I just wanna go and reread Part of Your World. I
Me
read that in my
too.
office. It's so
I want
good.
to hear it. I haven't heard it. I don't really listen to my books
I was
though.
gonna say, do you not listen? I mean, I don't know if that'd be weird listening back to the books you've read.
Well, sometimes if I need a boost, but sometimes the boost, it doesn't end up being a boost because I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound that good.
Mm.
Why do people even like this?
Self-criticizing. Um, oh, you did I don't know how to say that name.
Baldacci.
Baldacci.
Um,
Very
uh, I did one. Oh God, if I could only remember the titles of things. I did one recently that was like a thriller about like a Silicon Valley CEO who was like gonna blow up himself and his company, like literally, and all his he gathers all his friends from college to like decide what to do to save the and it was very fun. I don't know that that's out yet. It might be. It might already be out. But it is traditional publishing. Traditional publishing. So yeah, 620 Man was cool. But I've loved doing those thrillers. Those are fun.
Mhm. I didn't think about this either. So if you're only narrating like the male chapters, do you just skip over the other chapters?
Today I was at least skimming the gal chapters. I don't always, because sometimes the context is just there and it just makes
Mhm.
sense. But
Okay.
it's yeah. I usually, if I'm engrossed, then I'm like if I have to know, then
Mhm.
I look.
Mhm.
But sometimes the details sort of work themselves out.
That's true. Do you have any coming up that you're excited for that haven't come out yet?
I mean, the one I just did was pretty cool. What was that called? Wilder Chaos. It was a book for Podium, so it might be a while. Um, it's really quite beautiful. It's got a little some racy aspects to it, but it was really fun to do.
Mhm.
Um, I also have no idea what's out and what's not.
Oh, that's
like
fair.
I'm like okay, what did I do in the last month that I wrote in my calendar? I have not been working as much this year because I've been taking a step back for I was just gone for a week for my birthday, and I've been
Oh,
working
yeah, happy
on.
birthday. I forgot that was last week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And focusing on making music and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's one called The Love Wager that I think just came out. That was really cool. It was a Penguin release.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Oh, that one I did do for Lynn.
I was
That
gonna say,
was
isn't
a
that Lynn Painter?
that
Okay.
was a Lynn book.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the book is out, but maybe not the audio. Maybe.
Oh,
Anyway, that's one that I really enjoyed.
is there a difference between, like, in your experience between indie and traditional, or are they just all the same to you?
Um, I I mean, sometimes in traditional the font is a lot easier on the eyes. um, no, not really. I think like usually when I just don't work as much for publishers anyway.
Mhm.
Um, there's more independent work. But the traditional stuff that I do is usually really nice. Um, yeah.